Hello, Internet. And hello, my replay viewers. I get a lot of replay viewers. Love my hearts for my replay viewers. Thank you very much. There's Miss Haley. I see you. And let's see, I'm just going to wait a few minutes, get a couple more people in here. How are you today, Miss Hay? Busy, busy? No. Bartending school for the win. Saw that. So listen, Homeschool Scope, I'm just going to get my face on here. Give me a couple seconds. Hello, hello. I have to prop you up because I am not fancy. I think I have it better than yesterday, so I'm not looking down. I hope you can hear me okay, everyone coming in. Hi, come on in and join. Say hi. So we're going to have a homeschool chat. My name is Brandy Jones, and I am a mother of 6. I am a homeschool stay-at-home mom. And recently, a lot of my friends and family and some internet people have been asking me a lot about homeschooling. So I decided to do a scope series on just the generalness about homeschooling. Happy homeschool, yes, that's my favorite hashtag. Yes, babe.
Where are you?
I'm doing a scope. What do you need?
I need you for something.
I'm sorry, I'm busy. So you will hear children. I do this from my house, and my kids do what they do while I do what I do, so that it's Periscope, it's live. Hi! How are you? Also, it's a family-friendly show, and I'm blocktastic, so the minute that anybody comes on that is not being appropriate, we are in Southern California. I will block you. And in case you are a troll and you don't know Periscope, oh, the light is really white and me out. Maybe if I sit back, if I sit over here, can you see me better? Periscope keeps track of people that are blocked. So if you don't want to be watched, don't troll me. That's all I got to say about that. I'm not fancy. I don't have a fancy light, and I don't own a tripod, and oh, I'm very chill. Thank you for noticing. But today we're going to talk homeschool, and I want to tell you about my story and why you should listen to my opinion on Periscope. I am not an expert by any means, and this light is going to drive me nuts. There. How about if I do that? All right. I have to sit on the floor because my kids are in the schoolroom playing and getting ready for their next thing that they're going to get picked up to do. Hey, look at that. I get to block somebody because that's not appropriate. Okay. Okay. Yesterday we talked about some of my tips on if you're trying to decide if you want to homeschool. Salud. And hello, Australia. Where are you in Australia? That's a big place. I have some friends in Australia. Sorry. I tangent pretty easy, but it is what it is. The light is really bad. So yesterday we talked about in Melbourne. Nice area. Really pretty. You guys are getting ready for fall, right? It's like kind of, yeah. It's so weird to talk about that. Yeah, I get distracted by the comments and the topic, so I'm still learning how to do that, so please bear with me. It is really hot there. You'll have to tell me. So here's how Periscope works. It's a live broadcast. You get to talk to me. No, it's fine. I don't mind. You just ask me anything you want or comment however you like, as long as it is family, friendly, appropriate, because that's my only concern. Homeschool doesn't really need any porn, whatnot, or bad language as far as I'm concerned. So, Periscope is kind of like a podcast, except you get to talk to me, and it's kind of like watching text messages go at the same time. And over top of that little guy there, if you tap your little finger on there, you can get some hearts and maybe some snowflakes, because I put #winter in there for fun for all the people that aren't in the snow, which is me. I'm in Southern California. I am a mom of 6 kids, and I homeschool them from the ages of 3 to 15. The oldest is autistic. So I do have some special needs background. I have education in my background as well. And I am selling nothing. I am not on Periscope to sell you things. This is just me talking about a topic that I really like. So come on in and join me in the conversation. I would really appreciate it. If you have any questions, I love questions. I love talking, as you can kind of tell. Yesterday, we talked about the 3 main things that I think you should start with when you're looking for a homeschool, which were not start your curriculum. And hello to everybody coming in and going out. I know people do a lot of scope hopping, so if you have any questions, just let me know. We're chatting about homeschool today. We're still on the topic of choosing, if you're interested in homeschool, what it's all about and why you would choose homeschool. So my 3 tips yesterday, which you'll be able to find on YouTube under Brandy BJ as of later tonight. You can find me on Facebook under Brandy Jones. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram at Brandy BJ, like blue jeans. It's really simple. It's also my Periscope handle, so you can probably find that. And I think I covered everything. You swipe to share, right to left on iPhone and up and down on Android, and the little hearts are to be nice. I don't think they use them for anything. I do not smoke crack, but I really appreciate you asking that. That's definitely a homeschool topic. So, yesterday the 3 things we discussed were you need to look at your personality, you need to look at your kid's personality, and that will help you, those 2 things, to decide your type of curriculum. So, I just have to block this guy. I'm sorry, guys. So, my story is this. My kids started out in public school. I was an education major, and we found out that my oldest was autistic very early on. This was well before autism was a family word that people talked about all the time. When we were discussing autism, the only thing I knew about autism was the kid with the helmet on that shakes in the corner like this and you can't talk to them. Hi, is it Jenny? Jenny Woo? Do you go by Jenny? It's nice. Thank you for joining in on the conversation. Oh, you're an expecting mom. That's so awesome. So if I had a baby boy, would I get him circumcised, and why? Well, I have some boys that are circumcised and some that are not. And that is a very long question for another scope, but I appreciate you coming into my scope and asking me. I have a lot of thoughts about it, and if you find me on Facebook, I have a couple of different friends that also have some very interesting thoughts on that, and I could point you in their direction in case you're wondering about making your own decision. When it comes to homeschool, all you have to do is look for Brandy Jones on Facebook and find me, and I will recognize your name, Miss Jenny, so just watch this and then head on over there. Or go head over there and find me and then come back and finish watching. I won't take too much of your time because I know that honoring people's time is really important. So, what's your question, Mr. John?
Can I get ready for catering?
No, baby, I don't have it today. So, we had my kids in public school for quite a few years, and we had some pretty severe bully issues, and we also had a real smart autistic kid who learned that if he acted up, he could get out of work because there's only so many aides, there's only so many people that can help in a special needs classroom. And we had a phenomenal special needs teacher, and his aides were perfect, and he was coming home every night with work. Every single night. Because he was acting up and he was getting out. They had to physically accommodate him, so he was getting out of the work. And because other kids have academic problems and he could do the work at home, because between his dad and I, we could do that, we had the time for that, it was a little frustrating. So Dad and I started talking about it, and I said, you know, homeschooling is an option nowadays. It's not as weird and hard as it used to be in the 70s. And we looked at it and decided we were kind of doing that anyway. And then we looked at one of our other children who was having some pretty serious bullying issues. And I said, listen, he's going to shut down. And what do we do? So we decided to homeschool them. Now, since then, I've had 4 more kids. And every year, we ask them if they want to go to school in in public school, and we let them make their own choices on that. And we try very hard not to influence them. I just have to block this guy. Sorry. It's a family-friendly show. But we have given them our experiences, the good and the bad, and told them the truth. Very straightforward. So that they could make their own decision. And my family has kids in private school and in public school, so they have been able to experience both of those and seen it, and they make their own choices. So far, everybody is homeschooled. I do have two children that are now doing high school courses, and I have one that's about to start preschool kindergarten, and I have everything in between. So that's my story. And today, really quick, I want to talk about why people choose to do homeschooling or unschooling or those type of things, and some of the curriculums that they start to choose. And then tomorrow, I want to discuss with you the difference between what homeschooling, unschooling, and independent study are, in case you're overwhelmed looking at the internet going, there's so many things! What are all these things? So to the people coming in, welcome. We're almost done here, but we're talking about homeschool today. And here's some of the reasons why people choose to homeschool. Okay? In case you know nothing about it. Schedules. People in the military or that their families travel a lot, you can homeschool anywhere nowadays, especially with Wi-Fi. You get some Wi-Fi going and iPads or phones, and there are schools everywhere that you can virtually connect with, or you can do it all online. Schedules allowing people to work at home are now allowing kids to do school at home. Religious beliefs. Some people, I'm not putting any judgment to anyone, so please don't put any judgment in the comments, or if you're watching this on YouTube, none of that is really necessary for this discussion. It's just information. Some people have religious beliefs, and they want to incorporate their religious beliefs into their schooling. And it's just how their family lives, and it's very easy to do at home, because how you live, you can accommodate what your children are learning to go with your religious beliefs. Other reasons are if people are really creative and they're upset that their school system does not have an arts program. In California, where I live, a few years ago, many of the arts programs were cut. They were closing schools, and they were cutting arts and music programs like crazy. Some people are very upset about that, so they choose to homeschool because they are artistic, or they just really want their kids involved in the arts. Thank you for the hearts. That's fabulous. I do really love the hearts. I think they're beautiful and just a great expression. I'm super proud of you, John. That's excellent. Sorry, like I said, my kids do what they do while I do what I do, so I do have to acknowledge them. Other reasons why people choose to homeschool, if they're having bullying issues, or their child has special needs and the school is not handling those situations. We've all seen the horrible videos online. If you haven't seen them, I don't recommend you go see them. Your world does not need that. You're better off without. But it's easy to find. They're easy to find the horribleness of things that happen in special needs classrooms, or just the bullying in school. Now, cyberbullying is a thing, but if you have cyberbullies that have access to you at your school as well, it can be even more of a problem. Some people see their middle school kids or their high school kids having trouble, so they just bring them home because they can support them and make sure they're not having those emotional problems handled, that sort of thing. Other reasons why people choose to homeschool. Really, they just want their kids to be like free spirits. I've seen that. I've seen people that the school is not challenging their kids enough. And so they want to up the subjects and up the work, or things like that. So there's a lot of different reasons. It is no longer that you are granola and you are homeschool. Okay, because I'm going to tell you that I'm not. I'm a total geeky nerd, and yeah, I'm very creative. But my husband he's also very creative, but he's also very he's very logical and Socratic method type learning, and you know, he it's structured. It's not willy-nilly fly by the seat of your pants. So everybody has a lot of different reasons. And I welcome you to come and find me on Facebook. And my name is Brandy Jones. It's easy to find. Or on Instagram, I'm on Twitter. Come and find me, and I'd love to have a discussion with you if you're trying to decide about homeschooling as to what your thoughts are on why you would be choosing to do that. It's a very big decision, and it will affect your family. So please, I welcome that. And if you have any questions, let me know. So the other thing I wanted to talk about today are some curriculums. So when you're looking at curriculums, and you've looked at your personality and you've said, this is the kind of thing that I need to have. The next thing you need to look at is look at your teaching style and how, hello, how are you? I'm sorry, my eyes are not terrific, so I can't see the little tiny names in the Periscope name. So if you would like me to refer to your name, just write it out so that I can find you. You are thinking about homeschooling your son? And how old is your son? Any particular reasons why? Sorry, I am going to have this on YouTube, so people are going to have to, I read it so that you can see. He's only 4. You said he's only 4. So what you're doing is thinking ahead and looking at all of your possibilities. That's actually brilliant. That's a really good way to do it, because even if you're not prepared over the next year, you can get him into school and then decide if it's going to work for you, what's going to work. Yeah, I'm never prepared ahead of time. I try really hard, but it doesn't work. And my hair is going to bother me. I very rarely wear it down, so I apologize. I did notice I played with my hair a lot yesterday. It's when it's in my face, it bothers me, so I apologize. So if you find me on Facebook, if you have any questions that I don't address on here, I'll be doing this for the next couple of days, maybe a week or two. Oh, in my Star Wars shirt. Here, let me see if I can do it. There it is. There's my Star Wars shirt. Yeah, I love them. If you have any questions on what you're thinking about for your 4-year-old, just come and find me. Thank you. I think it's pretty rad too. I'm a total geeky nerd. So just come and find me and let me know, or catch up with me on my scopes. I'm going to be doing them at about 3 o'clock, give or take, depending on the day. Pacific Standard Time. So let's go back to a discussion. We're starting a discussion on curriculums. So, for example, a pre-prep reading program. Do you like the Bob books? Is that what you mean? Or do you mean just learning like letters and sounds, phonetics? What kind of pre-prep reading program? I'm not selling anything, so I just use what I have in my back pocket to talk about. Something like those, but more toned down. Like Dr. Seuss, this is the B book, this is the A book, like that kind of thing, because those are great for the learning and getting the reading going. Plus, they love the pictures. Discussion of curriculums. So, for example, I looked at my personality, and I looked at what my husband's personality would like. Yeah, like that. And I knew that I wanted something structured, but I wanted something that would also incorporate a lot of arts and a lot of language, because I'm a huge believer in a lot of language. My kids started out in an independent study through the school system, and there was no language other than English, like reading lit type courses. And so after the first year, I decided, well, hey, I want my kids to speak Spanish because of where we live, and because, like, you should just be bilingual. Like, you just should. You did the ACE curriculum with the oldest homeschool child. How did you like that? Why did you choose that particular program? I'm sorry, I can't see the names too well, so I apologize that I didn't call you by your name. But I would like to hear your opinions on that. Oh my gosh, your kid just fell down the stairs? You should probably get off here and go check on that. The ACE was very structured, and she took the time to type BRB. It's Bible based. So is it it's not a Catholic program though, right? It would be a Christian Bible based program. Um is that part of the homeschool conference in Texas? I'm familiar with oh, what's it called? Alpha Omega, I think. Christian based. Okay. And do they give you the lesson plans with that? Because I'm kind of a huge fan of having the lesson plans given to me. I've learned over the past 7 or 8 years. Oh my gosh, you're pulling my leg. You are not on my scope asking about your kid bleeding and crying, because let me tell you, you called it an it. So you gave yourself away. It's workbook based. So the kids are younger? Because usually for the high school programs they try to steer away from workbook based, but I have some training, but I've been doing this for quite a while, so I'm not an expert or anything. It's more just kind of like talking to your friend over tea, like chatting. I don't pretend to be an expert. Oh, they train you. ACE, it's called ACE. So if people wanted to look up that particular curriculum, it's very structured and they have a workbook program. Can they find that online? Could you give me the information? Are you an affiliate of theirs? Because I can try and you could type out the website and it'll show, and I'll also put it on my YouTube notes with answer books. So you get the answers and they can do the workbooks. I really like that. So when you're looking at a curriculum, you want to know if you want structured or not structured. You want to know if you want online access or not online access. Just a schooling dad. Those are my favorite. I love homeschool dads. They're the best. Because they're rare. I'm sorry, my hair is really bothering me. I apologize for playing with it constantly. So, homeschool dad. What is your name, homeschool dad? Let's find out who you are. And what made you choose ACE when you were looking at it? Because today we're talking about how you would choose a curriculum. Sean. And Sean, where do you live? You don't have to tell me specifically because it is the internet. Oh, you're in the UK. You have a lot different laws than what we have. I live in California in the US, so way over from the pond from you. What is it, like 5,000 miles or something? And we have kind of lax rules. So that's the other thing that I wanted to touch on when you're talking about curriculum, is you need to look at the laws. Is it more difficult to homeschool there? You know, it's funny because I've seen recently that there's been an upswing, though. So it's kind of interesting that it's more difficult and people would still be interested in it. Is it more difficult with church families? Are you Episcopalian? Or Anglican? Why would it be more difficult for church families? That's really interesting. I'd love to know. Oh, more church families are doing it. It's not more difficult. I misread that. Don't mind me. And I apologize for the light, but I have to sit on the floor because the kids are in the schoolroom. So, in regards to choosing a curriculum, what were the things that you were looking for? That you chose that particular one. Did you go through other ones before? Because I think I've gone through, I spent 8 weeks last time when I was choosing a curriculum. I spent 8 weeks, a good chunk of time, trying to decide what we were going to do, because I had a lot of different kids to accommodate, including a special needs child, and what we were going to choose. I knew I wanted something that had online access. I knew I wanted penmanship and that language and arts, but I didn't need an art history class involved. Some people really like to have an art history class involved. Some people like to have a religious class involved. We have done that. We have. I now incorporate it naturally because I have the books and the tools to incorporate our religion into our schooling, but it's not So it's not something I require from a course. You were looking for one that fit your belief system, the cost, ease for the child, and what other people were doing locally, so that you had local support for it, which is brilliant. That's such a good idea. A lot of people just look at libraries or how they can do it cost-wise, and they don't look at what's going to be happening with the children or what their personalities look like. So that's a really important thing. What made you choose the ACE? What was your final? Did it come down to any? Did you have any tiebreakers? I always have tiebreakers. It's horrible. When you're looking at a curriculum and you've looked at your personality, you can get overwhelmed online. There's so many. So my first thing to do is do not get pigeonholed into something and just decide. You need to run it by your significant other, and I usually have my kids look at it, and I usually say, does this interest you? Because something that interests me, they might not be interested in at all. We did Veritas Press has an online Bible Academy class. It's completely online. It's not Catholic. So that was a little bit, it meant that I needed to go over stuff with them constantly. They loved it. They ate it up like crazy. No, I'm not an affiliate for them. That's just something that we chose to do. And they learned history at the same time as the Bible stuff. It was all in line. And they had reading program that went with it with the classics for books. I am a Catholic. I don't support anyone politically. But thank you for asking. And I'm definitely not discussing him because the hair is scary on that one. Do I support Jesus Crust? No. Yes, baby girl, what can I help you with? In a few minutes. I'll be out in a few minutes. I'm almost done. I will look up the ACE program. I think that other people that are interested in this should look up the ACE program too. Feel free to put the website there. Baby girl, I'll be out in a minute.
Mommy,
yes. Okay, thank you. Yes, I am. Are you okay? Are you following me? Is that what you're asking? If you follow me, will I follow you? Is that? Bye, babe. Love you. What's up, guys? My kids are leaving. I can't. I love you. Bye. Why not? Okay, he can stay home. It's fine. There's anarchy. Can you hear all the anarchy? You would hit your kids if they said goodbye to you? Or if they were freaking out? That's not cool. They're just freaking out. They can't find their stuff. And he's had like 45 minutes, so if he doesn't find it, he doesn't find it. Thank you. You would smack your kid if they... Well, I'm not gonna get up and go smack them. I just don't feel like it. Sorry. My kids do what they do while I do what I do. So you hear the kids all the time. And discipline is key. You know, it's funny. We're pretty solidly disciplined. What's wrong?
I lost my belt in Dad's car.
They probably have one you can borrow or borrow Josh's.
No, Josh doesn't have one. I'm using Josh's.
Okay.
I can't go.
Okay. Crazy. So, we have a pretty solid discipline system, but I'm going to finish talking about the homeschooling so I can get off this scope. I don't want to waste people's time. I missed the follow. Somebody was talking to me about a back and forth follow. Where are they going? They have an activity this afternoon. It's a little bit difficult for me to scope at 3 o'clock just because some of my son's therapists leave and some of my other kids go to activities. And it's kind of a logistics thing, but they know that I'm on Periscope, so they try to keep it quiet and try to help the little ones be occupied with appropriate activities so that I can talk to people because it's fun. Could you follow me? Yes. If I look at your person and it seems like something that I would get value from, I absolutely will. Thank you. I'm hoping that's an interesting chat. So I'm going to finish up. I just wanted to touch on the curriculum thing that I was talking about. And again, my name is Brandy Jones. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram with my handles that are very similar to my Periscope. And my kids do what they do while I do what I do. So there are kids. I'm not a fancy Periscope person. I don't have good lights. I don't have a tripod. I just have been asked a lot recently about homeschooling and am on to share. That's really it. I just really felt like sharing. So, nope. So when you are discussing curriculum, and I apologize for the yelling, but the 5-year-old is probably going to give her sister some trouble. When you are discussing curriculum, and you've looked at the 3 things I talked about yesterday, do not go online. Thank you. I appreciate that you think it's an important topic. A lot of people that I know are trying to decide right now. It's that time of year, and they're trying to decide for next year. So this is kind of an easy way for them to find me, and I just thought, why not? I have to get better at periscoping anyway, so just because I want to. So, curriculums. Don't go online and just start looking like crazy. You'll get into forums, you'll hear everybody's opinion, you'll see all these different videos and tutorials and information, and your brain is kind of like a computer, right? It can only hold so much, and all of a sudden you'll just have this massive overload, and you will immediately think to yourself, I can't do this. It's too much, and there's no way I could even choose, let alone follow through. So, don't do that. The first thing that you want to do is write out what is important to you. Okay? Your top 3. Just your top 3. So like, if you only have one child and they're an auditory learner, do you want them to have a heavy workbook reading-based curriculum, right? You're probably not going to want that. You're probably going to want something that has videos attached, or that has CDs available or DVDs available. That will change how you look. Sun Life is really good for that. Yes, if you look at Sun Life's, it said he was saying Google Sun Life. That's actually true. They're really good for stuff like that. Alpha Omega has multiple different forms so that you can choose what's going to work for you. If you're a scheduled, structured person, in case you're hopping in and out, I'm not selling anything. This is a way for people to discuss all different kinds of things with homeschool, and it's a series I'm doing. So I'm not actually selling anything, okay? ACE, you just Google ACE. That's how you find the ACE curriculum. And he said that is, Sean was sharing that is a workbook-based curriculum, Christian-based, really great. Oh, Accelerated Christian Learning. Of course it's an acronym. Of course it is. That's right. Okay. So I will make sure and put that in my show notes when I put this up on YouTube. Now, if you are not technical, or you don't want your kids on technology for their classes, or you have a cost-prohibitive situation, you can homeschool for free. I'm not even kidding. A trip to the library once a week with your public school system in the States. I'm sure there are ways to do it in the UK and Australia and in Asia and other places. You can get reading lists from the bookstore. Barnes & Noble will have the reading lists in August and September of what teachers are asking their students to read for the next year. And you just go pick one of those up. Thank you for the hearts. I love when people tap the little guy and I get hearts. You pick one of those up and you go to the library. You put it on a bulletin board, and for free, your kid has all the books they need to read for the year. And they just write a book report on it. You know how to do a book report. What is a book report? It's a paragraph, 5 sentences that say if they like the book or not and would they recommend it. Okay? Boom. You can homeschool completely for free nowadays. There's I am going to be covering multiple ideas and ways to help you with that if that is where you're at. So you don't have to decide about homeschooling if it's cost prohibitive for you. You don't have to decide about homeschooling if you have a special needs child. You don't have to say I can't do it because I have a special needs child. There are curriculums that you can manipulate and accommodate very easily for special needs children. You can also, for special needs children, a large amount of homeschooling for social skills and self-help skills like showering, learning how to wash dishes, learning how to use a broom or tie your shoes, those can be included in homeschooling. Okay? So you have to broaden your mind on what is included and what's not. Now, what the other thing, when you're choosing a curriculum, before you go online and start looking at all this craziness, you need to know the laws for your state. If you have any questions on the laws for your state, you look them up and you're like, oh my God, what do I do? Just find me on Facebook. Send me a Twitter. Tweet me and say, I don't know what this means. I can help you decipher it. I know a lot about it. I'm not an expert, but I do know some attorneys. And if you're not comfortable talking to me, the HSLDA, Homeschool Legal HSL Defense Association, maybe. I don't know. It's HSLDA. They have a website. They list all the laws. And if you're confused and you have time, because it takes some time for them to get back to you, how old are my children? I have 6 children, ranging in age from 3 to 15, almost 16. All of them are about to start homeschooling. Up until this past year, I only had 5 homeschooling. And I do have 2 that are in high school. So I do everything from preschool to high school myself. Not everyone does that. So, but I've been doing this for 7 or 8 years. I'm not an expert. I just like sharing what I know and helping people that might have questions and are intimidated by asking. Just intimidated by asking. Because you can ask a stranger and they're not going to judge you, right? You hope. And let's see. Have they been doing better since switching? Well, I will tell you, we have a lot of challenges. The oldest is autistic, and he has been doing substantially better since switching out. We do have some behavior issues that I think would be substantially worse if they were in school, because I can stop them right now. I just stop them. And we're kind of, I don't stand for certain behaviors. I'm going to put it that way. I don't tolerate language and they have to help with chores, and they help with their little brothers and sisters. I'm not, like, just do whatever you want kind of parent. Your child was bullied. The school said the boy needed to fit in better and be like the other kids. Well, now, that was a thing. And he said he wanted to be himself. Yes, that is a thing, isn't it? That's what we heard when we were little. So you pulled him out and you homeschooled him. Now, did you just do that, or have you been doing it for a little while? I'm sorry, I have to look really close because my eyes are not great with the tiny gray names. So I apologize. The school curriculum was also anti-religious. Yes. That is a thing. We are seeing that as a thing. Yes, well, the UK is... now, I thought they were very Episcopalian and Anglican. I didn't realize they were very atheist. But I do know that some of the history books and things like that, they're altering. Some of the stuff coming out is being published in the States and used over in the UK. And it's very anti-religion. Anything. Regardless of whether you're religious, some people are still saying, like, you know, like they took out in some histories discussion of any sort of gods and things like that, and like won't teach Egyptian mythology, some weird stuff like that. Oh, that I'm doing a good job because being strict is good and it makes them know that I care. Yes, we we believe in boundaries. Parents are still learning they need to be the bad guy. You know, it's funny. It's interesting to see how parenting is changing since I started, because I have one kid who's going to be 16 and one who's going to be 3. And parents of people that have little toddlers right now are very different from the parents I knew when my oldest was a toddler. And it's interesting to see the difference. Yes, kids do respect boundaries as long as you respect boundaries. You teach them how the world works, because even if you fight them, well, every human fights them, wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say that you fight when your free will is blocked a little bit and you're like, I don't like that boundary? Yes, you're saying yes. Everyone does that. So when a toddler does it, they're just learning how to express themselves, right? And then they have that as well. Yes, their rebellious nature. It's true. I'm having trouble reading the comments, so I apologize. And you have to take that into consideration when you look for a curriculum as well. Because if you have an extraordinarily stubborn child, or if you are an extraordinarily stubborn human, or you have any sort of control, whatnot, or, you know, if you are a parent who really likes order and really, really wants everything to be exact, maybe bringing them home is not the best idea if you can't continue to be a pleasant person. Because everybody has days where it all falls apart. Everybody has days where you explode and lose your mind. But you don't want to have those consecutively, you know? And you have faith to pull you through, but some people just think they can bring their kids home and control the situation, and that is not always the best thing, because you have to be a little bit flexible. The bullying situation is, I'm hearing that a lot though. Small schools are great if that would ever be a possibility, because everybody fits in and bullying usually isn't a problem at all. That is true. Now, where I live, they don't have very many small schools. Just the nature of the area that I live in, it's a largely populated area. For sure, high school is a challenge, even with the faith, but you're finding that it's good for you. Yeah. Yes, small schools are really good if you don't want to homeschool and bring them home. If you can put them in a smaller environment, they definitely get an appropriate level of attention. And your child has been thriving since coming out. We're hearing from a lot of people that their children are growing and thriving in that environment. It's also very empowering, and the parents usually, that one-on-one with the parents is something that is kind of lacking in today's society. So we're also, a lot of people that I know in homeschool groups and things that I'm involved in are seeing, even in secular ones, you know, it doesn't have to be a religious situation. They are seeing that the children are thriving when empowered that way. So, let's see. So tomorrow I'm going to be talking. You can come back and join me about the same time. It will probably be less noisy. With a school, if you don't get a topic, they move on even if you are left behind. Yes, that is one of the reasons we homeschool. And that is one of the things we're very strict about. I am a full mastery parent. With homeschool, you can focus. Yes. Not everyone does that. Some people, you're saying is very true. Some people just follow the lesson plan and they just go because that's what they're comfortable with. Some people are just starting and they're scared, to which I say to you, everyone is scared all the time. So some things you get over and other things will continue to scare you. You will still have, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. You will still have, I so failed today. You will still have those brilliant moments where you get to see your kid do this amazing thing that you've been working on for months and they do it. And so you get both. It never changes. That's permanent. But if you're selfish like me and you want to have those moments for yourself, homeschool is definitely the way to go. The only issue is if parents have the ability to teach the way they learn. People will judge you when you are out and about too, giving you looks. Yes, and I am going to be talking about that. I am going to be talking. Just watch for the hashtags if you don't have all the time. Or find me on Facebook. Like, why are you not in school? Yes. Yes. I actually have a favorite video. If you find me on Facebook, I'll give it to you. It's a guy who was homeschooled, and he does a video on an awkward situation when he went into a grocery and they just kept harassing him. And it's really, 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 really funny. So here's the thing. It's beneficial if parents can teach to how their kids learn, but it's mostly in schools they just don't they can't accommodate that. Most of the schools out here are 30 to 35 seat classes. Where I live, I'm not talking about in general, and I'm in the States, in California, Southern California. And it's impossible to expect even a phenomenally good teacher to be able to accommodate all of the different types of learning. Okay? So, at the same time, we can't expect a homeschool person. Your schools are about 30 to 35 too. In schools, there's usually one student or two teachers a student will truly learn from. You mean in the scope of their time in school? I would say that's true, because I distinctly remember the teachers that stuck out for me. I think most people are that way. And I definitely know the years that I did really well and the years that that didn't matter. So I would say that's true. I lost my train of thought. That's embarrassing. Something that's important when you are starting homeschooling, in case I have people on here that are brand new or just starting, is you don't have to know how your kid learns. You don't have to know what's going to work best. You can find out very easily. Just Google ways kids learn, and it'll have like auditory. Thank you for the hearts. I forgot to say about the hearts, so I appreciate that. Auditory, visual, a combo of those two, and I forget all the other ones. There's 4 total, I think, off the top of my head. I don't know what they all are, but there's a way to figure it out. It's really simple. Thank you for the hearts. Look, and snowflakes, because I put in winter in the hashtags. You learn how they learn and what focuses them through pretty quickly. Yes, that's true, because, for example, my second son cannot do math sitting down. Child cannot do it sitting down. He can't focus. He gets all over the place, stands up to do his math. He's brilliant. And he is 13 and he's currently finishing his Algebra 1 class. So, and as long as he's standing up, he's good. As long as my classes don't take more than 35 minutes with 5 to 10 minutes of a discussion, he's solid. Okay? The social thing seems difficult. Well, that kind of depends on what you mean by social. And I'm going to explain, because for me, my kids' relationship with their brothers and sisters is far more important than their relationship with strangers. But they need to be respectful. They need to know how to talk to people. They need to be able to enter a room and not be awkward and be able to converse properly. Oh, I hope, follow me so that you can get the notifications so you can come and find me. I hope you find me. I am taking way too long, aren't I? Oh yes. I am sorry, but I really enjoyed talking to you. Please come and find me. I'm going to finish this up because I'm taking way too long. Oh, you're a doll. I'll find you. I will when I'm done with this, which I'm going to finish in just a minute. But if you are talking about socialization as a myth, homeschool kids are much better in multiple social situations. That's where I'm going with this. It depends on what you're talking about by social. Because if you look, and I'm talking about U.S. schools now, currently, I was recently in an elementary school, and they had lines painted. It's a public school. Lines painted on the floor. Each classroom had a line. The children were told to stand up in line and walk to and from the classrooms for their different classrooms. When they're in class, they sit. They are not allowed to talk unless they are spoken to. And when they were out at lunch, they could not have too loud of vocalizations, or they were punished by being removed from recess, of which they only have 2 a day. Okay. Now, I'm not judging anything. That's just factual information said in a factual manner. Okay? So, my kids have friends in Dubai and Japan and Colorado and Pennsylvania and North Carolina and Washington and California that they talk to all the time on social media, just like this. FaceTime. It's not necessarily texting, so they're not like talking to weird old men, you know? They actually are kids. And they connect with them through video games. They go to parks and play with people. They have some classes outside, some activities, ballet, taekwondo, art, things like that kids do, where they meet people and talk. Now, do they have to sit in a chair and not talk during lessons? Yes. Are the lessons sometimes on the couch? Yes. My son has therapists that come to the house. Do they have to be respected? Yes. Do they have to speak to adults a certain way? Yes. Do they have to be able to order their own food at restaurants? Yes. Do they have to talk to people they don't like? Yes, all the time. I'm like, go talk to that homeless guy. If he's creepy, come back. Help me with the laundry at the laundromat. And talk to the woman in Spanish because you need to practice your Spanish. So if that's the kind of socialization you're talking about, homeschooling is fine for that. In our area, there are school dances where they teach swing and formal dancing. It is not allowed for them to just be in a room in the dark and dance. They dress a certain way and are formally taught how to do those things. So that is one of the benefits of my area. We had chess at the local library where they went, and it was free. And they met, there was 18 or 20 kids that got taught from a local chess legend chess. So if you're talking about socialization and you're like, it seems as if public schools do more to make people more closed off if they aren't accepted. Here's what I've seen with that. I don't know if it's public schools in general. I think in any group of people, there are going to be people that are extremely extroverted and light up the room and everyone gravitates towards them. And then there's going to be people that are extremely introverted and are not comfortable with that sort of situation because that's how human beings are. If you're talking about does homeschool remove that from human nature, my opinion is no. My opinion is that some of my kids are going to walk into a room on a stage in a theater and light up the room because that's how they are. And some of them are going to walk on a stage and not want to talk to people. Here's what I am tell you about homeschool. And not everybody does this. This is just me. I teach them that that's okay. That's it. I teach them that they're beautiful and that they're smart. And they might not be book smart. They might be technical smart. My autistic son built a robot, but he can't take a shower by himself. But he is not being harassed in a situation. It does make it harder in certain situations. It does. Now, I am an advocate for homeschool. I come from a place of challenge. We've had a huge amount of challenge with this decision. Not all of my family is on board with the situation. Not all of my friends are on board with the situation. And it is not an easy thing for our family to do. I do come from a place of challenge. It's not always easy. In fact, I would say that sometimes, and a lot of times, it's harder than people let on because people want you to be like-minded with them. But I am just here to share the honesty. I just like to be honest. So, I am going to get off, though, because I've been on a lot longer than I anticipated. I thought it would be 20 minutes, and it's been crazy way too long. So, I apologize if you've stuck with and you're still watching. My name is Brandy Jones. I'm a mom of 6, and you know what? People are afraid to admit it's hard. And I'm not afraid to admit that it's hard. And I am not afraid to help you if you're having a hard day. I'm not afraid. You can just find me and I will help you power through. I'm not selling anything. I'm just me. And my name is Brandy Jones on Facebook. I hope you have a lovely day. I will be doing a homeschool series that are shorter than this by a lot. for the next couple of weeks. So come on in, join the chat. I really appreciate all of you spending the amount of time with me that you have today. It's amazing. And I hope you have a wonderful day in your homeschool journey, and please go out in the world and be your best self. It's really important. Follow me if you like, and I hope to see you again in the next few days.